Hello everyone, and welcome back to exercise number 29 of the SolidWorks Basic Tutorial Series. In this video, we're going to be designing a reclining seat ratchet plate. Now, as always, in designing this part within SolidWorks, we're going to be using many of the SolidWorks features, namely the extrude boss base feature and extrude cut feature, but we're also going to be using the mirror tool. In fact, in this component, we're actually going to be using it very heavily. Here we see the schematic drawing for exercise number 29. All dimensions here are in inches, not millimeters. Again, I keep stretching this back because many times we keep forgetting and we model this using the millimeter system, okay? So it's very easy to confuse and make a mistake. Again, we're dealing with inches. Here we see that there's a line of symmetry for the component along the y-axis. Let me just zoom in for a second here. Again, this is along the y-axis. So it's sufficient that we only draw one half of the component and then use the mirror tool to create the other side. To model this effectively within SolidWorks, I think we can do this in three main steps. Step number one is to sketch out the base profile of this base bracket by selecting the top plane, then using the line tool to sketch out the profile. And then we're going to use the extrude boss base tool to create a thickness, which in this case, it's 0.2 inches. After that, we're going to create a rectangle that represents the support brackets here at the back. And then we're going to use the extrude boss base tool to create the thickness. Once we've created this, the first half of the solid, we're going to use the mirror tool to mirror it to the other side, thereby creating the, or fully creating the base bracket along with the support plates at the back. Step two involves working on this semicircular segment, more technically called a ratchet segment. And for that, we're going to draw a semicircular region, and then use the trim entities tool to basically divide it into two halves. After that, we're going to use the extrude boss base tool to assign a thickness. And again, this ratchet segment has a thickness of 0.2 inches. That's basically step number two. And step number three involves working on this ratchet teeth profile. Looking at the front of the figure here, we see that we have a ratchet teeth angular pitch of 22.5. So basically the angle between one edge to the other is 22.5 degrees. And the ratchet teeth lie on a circular region. In this case, it's a semicircular region with a radius of 1.5 inches. All right. And this involves actually using the line tool and using the trim entities tool as well. So again, we need to also work on creating these holes. So after we've completed creating these ratchet teeth, we're going to work on creating these holes by simply drawing circles on the respective surfaces, assigning the diameter, and assigning also the X and Y coordinates for the holes, basically the position of these holes, and then using the extrude cut tool to create the depths of the cut. And finally, we're going to use the mirror entities tool to, again, mirror it to the other side to save time. So again, please notice that we've heavily used the fact that the component is symmetrical along the y-axis to save time and effort. Okay, so with that aside, let's get started with exercise number 29. Okay, so we start by creating a new SolidWorks part. We copy exercise number 29 into SolidWorks. And before we begin, we need to remember that we're dealing with the inch system here, right? So by default, we're set to millimeters. So to change that, go down here and set the unit system to the inch, pound, and second system. Now, before we begin, I need to remind you again that we have a symmetry for the component along the y-axis. So it's sufficient that we only model one half of the component and then use the mirror tool to mirror it or copy it to the other side, saving time. Also, as I said previously, we can model this within SolidWorks in three main steps. Step number one is to model the base bracket along with the side plates. Step number two was to work on creating this semicircular arc, or more technically called the ratchet segment. And finally, we're going to sketch out the ratchet teeth using the line tool, and then use the extrude cut tool to create the openings for the teeth. So to begin, select top plane, sketch, select line, and we're going to sketch out the profile for the base bracket right here. So starting from the origin, draw the profile of the bracket. Again, like I said before, we're only going to draw one half of the base bracket and then use the mirror tool to mirror it to the other side. Select Smart Dimension, and looking at the figure here, we see that the overall length of the component is 6.5 inches. Therefore, the length of this edge should be 6.5 inches divided by 2. Furthermore, the width of the component right here is 3 inches, so the length of this edge is 3 inches. Also, the length of this top edge is 0.96 inches, so the length of this edge should be 0.96. And the length of this bottom edge should also be 0.96 inches. Now the sketch is fully defined. So what we're going to do before extrusion, we're going to select Mirror Entities. And here it's going to ask you for the entities to mirror, and go ahead and select these lines. And we're going to mirror it about this vertical line here. And then select OK. Select Trim Entities and delete the partition line in the middle. Now go to Features, Extrude Boss Base. And from the figure, we see that the base bracket, along with these side supporting plates, have a thickness of 0.2 inches. So go ahead and assign a thickness of 0.2 inches. And then select OK. Let's set the background to plain white. OK. Now we're going to work on creating these side supporting brackets or side supporting plates. So select this back face, sketch, select corner rectangle, and starting from this corner, draw a rectangle. Select Smart Dimension, and from the figure we see that the length of this edge of this rectangle, the height of the rectangle should be 1.7 inches. So select this edge and assign it a height of 1.7 inches. Now go to Features, Extrude Boss Base, and we're going to extrude this rectangular profile to a thickness of 0.2 inches as well. And we're going to reverse the direction. Since the overall width of the component is 3 inches, which corresponds to this line right here, we don't want to add another 0.2 inches to the other side, so we need to reverse the direction of extrusion, and then select OK. Right, now we're going to mirror this supporting plate to the other side, the support plate to the other side. Now select Mirror, and here it's going to ask you for the face or plane to mirror along. Go ahead and select the right plane, and we can see here that the right plane lies midway between the two sides of the component. For the features to mirror, go ahead and select this top face, and then select OK. And that completes the modeling process for the base bracket, along with the side plates right here. But before we conclude step 1, we need to create these holes, these 4 holes, and from the figure we see that the 4 holes have a radius of 0.19 inches. Furthermore, for these 2 holes, one of the holes on the base bracket has the X and Y coordinates, basically defining its position. And we have a hole here at the side plate with the X and Y coordinates as well. And we notice here that the X coordinate for this hole lies midway between the two sides of the side plate, the back plate actually, which is 0.48 and which is half of 0.96. So select this face, sketch, draw a circle at any point here. Select Smart Dimension, and we're going to assign a diameter of 0.19 times 2, right? And the distance between this point and this bottom edge should be 0.5. And the distance between this edge and this point, the center of the circle, should be 0.5 inches as well. Now go to Features, Extrude Cut, and we're going to cut out this circular profile all the way to the other side, creating the hole, and then select OK. Now we need to create this hole here. So select this face, sketch, select circle, and starting from this midpoint, this top midpoint, go vertically downwards, and then draw a circle. Select Smart Dimension, and assign a diameter of 0.19 times 2. And the distance between this top edge and the center of this circle should be 0.5 inches. Select Features, Extrude Cut, and then select OK. Now we need to mirror these two holes to the other side. Go ahead and select Mirror Entities. And here's going to ask me for the face or plane you want to mirror along. Again, select the right plane. And as for the mirrors, as for the features to mirror, go ahead and select these internal surfaces, 1 and 2. And then select OK. All right. Now that concludes step 1. Step 2 involves creating this semicircular segment or this ratchet arc. So what do? We select this back face, sketch, select circle, and starting from the midpoint of this top edge, we draw a single circle. Select Smart Dimension, and then looking at the figure, we see this semicircular segment has a radius of exactly 2 inches. So this should have a diameter of 4 inches. Now we're going to divide this circle into half. So select Line, and then draw a horizontal line starting from this point all the way to the other point. Select Trim Entities, delete this bottom half, select Line again, and then close off the bottom rectangle like so. Select Trim Entities again, and then delete this top line right here. Now select Features, Extrude Boss Base, and this extrusion should have thickness of 0.2 inches. Why is 0.2? Because again, the thickness for all the features for the component is exactly 0.2 inches. So select OK. Now we're going to work on drawing the profile for the ratchet teeth, and looking at the top of the front plane here, we see that the ratchet teeth basically lie in a circle with lie on a base circle with a radius of 1.5 inches, and the angle or this ratchet teeth pitch angle is basically 22.5 degrees. So select this face, sketch, select circle, and starting from the midpoint of this top edge, draw a circle. Select Smart Dimension, and the diameter of this circle should be 3 inches. Convert this circle into a construction geometry. And now we're going to draw the ratchet teeth profile using the Line tool. So select Line, and starting from this point, draw a vertical line all the way to the top here. Select Line tool again, and from the center of this circle, draw an inclined line at any given angle. Select Smart Dimension, and assign the angle between this vertical edge and this inclined line as 22.5 degrees. And of course, this value was taken from the figure as shown earlier. Now we're going to connect this top point with this bottom point. Use the Line tool again and create another vertical line. Select Line tool again, and from this point we're going to draw another inclined line all the way to the base circle here. Select Smart Dimension, and assign the angle between this line and this line as 22.5 degrees as well. Repeat the same process. Assign or draw a circle from this point, draw a line from this point to this point, from this point to this point, and we're going to draw another line right here from this point all the way to the larger circumference of the larger circle. And then we're going to draw another inclined line starting from the base of this circle, starting from the origin of the circle at any given angle. Smart Dimension, and assign the angle between this line and this line as 22.5 degrees. Okay, let me just do that again. Okay, so 22.5 degrees. Connect these 2 points. Select Trim Entities, and then go ahead and delete any extra lines. Select the Line tool again, and then close off the profile of the ratchet teeth as follows. Now select this surface, go to or use Convert Entities, and this way we're going to create a sketch of the outer profile of this larger semicircle. Now go to Features, Extrude Cut, and go ahead and select these profiles, 1, 2, and 3, and then select OK. And that creates the ratchet teeth. Finally, we're going to fill out certain edges, so go ahead and select Fillet. And from the figure here, we see that the back edge here should be rounded out using a fillet radius of 0.12. So these two edges, 1 and 2, but also we have these edges right here. Just delete that. Start again. 1 and 2, these two back edges. And these two edges at the front as well. I have to be very careful selecting the edges. All right, so now select OK. Click at this image. Set the view to perspective. Let's go ahead and assign a material. Let's select ASI 1020 steel, apply, close. Okay, so that concludes exercise number 29. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, shoot them down below. I'm more than willing to read them. Until we see again, I'll see you all in exercise number 30. Have a nice one, and bye-bye.